regret nothing.
Welcome to the Running with Scissors I Regret Nothing podcast with Vince Desi, MikeJ, and John Merchant.
Hello. Here we are again with our second edition of the Running with Scissors I Regret Nothing podcast with me, Vince Desi, and John Merchant. Say hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Yeah, it's been a little over a month since our last episode, and we had quite a few people watch live, and actually a lot more people tune in over YouTube. So thank you to everyone for listening to our banter and crazy shit. This episode we're going to talk a little bit more about stuff that we like to do and not just products that we make, because you can only talk about Postal for so long. But wanted to start today with giving people a little bit of updates on things that we're doing right now. So, John, if you want to give the people some Postal Redux updates, that'd be solid.
Yeah, sure. So we're working on the promised free DLC that includes the co-op and also the special delivery and super postal maps, which we'll be previewing the maps to you shortly later on in the podcast. And the co-op's coming on very nicely. We're aiming for 4 players, and it's we're getting to the point now where we're going into some beta testing, and with any luck, it'll be out very shortly. So we're quite happy with how it's turned out.
Yeah, that's right. I've got about 20 screenshots to show you guys. We'll show them later. We'll throw them in a little bit later. But the co-op is very fun. 4-player co-op is fun to play, and Postal Redux, it's really kind of tailored for that. And it's a shame we couldn't get it out earlier, but we are getting it to you guys, and I think it'll add a lot of value to the game. So, let's get that shown to you later. And the other big news about Postal is we had the mall map update, the 2016 mall map update. So that kind of became a little bit of a viral sensation for a while early in June. And we had this in our plans, and we did it. We updated our old map that said, the mall wasn't updating until 2016. I saw a post from some of the old devs that were on the team, and they were laughing about it, that they didn't put it far enough in the future. And I said, no, we're gonna update it. And everybody seems to like it. So good work, John. Good work, team.
Yeah, it turned out really well.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, originally, we went a bit further beyond the scope. I mean, originally we were just going to have the store opened and have some generic sort of store there, and then of course the idea spiraled and into what you will see later on in the video.
Yeah, it was going to be just a little one-off joke, but it did turn into a really fun little piece. And this is the kind of stuff that we do that makes the fans appreciate what we do long term. I mean, even though that's minor, it's still relatively major for something so old. But people play it, so we got to give them content, and that's what we did. So thank you for everyone for checking that out, and I'll show you a video with that coming up soon as well. And then the last little bit of info I was going to talk to you about right now was, if anybody tuned into our last podcast, we submitted the audio to Apple for a podcast listing. Now, if you're not familiar, when you submit a listing for a podcast, you're not giving them the audio and they host it somewhere. It's just them listing podcasts that are broadcast around the world, so people then can add them to their podcast app on their iPhone and get new updates when they come out. And like just about everything else that's happened to us historically, it was rejected for unknown reasons, as they put it. They tell us that check out this website, it will give you details as to why, and it gives you this laundry list of things that could be wrong, from technical aspects to vulgarity to just things that they don't like. So again, we have been rejected from another store. It's only 19 years later, and we can continue to claim that badge of honor. So what do you have to say about that, Vince?
Well, if they're concerned about fucking vulgarity, they're clearly missing the point, because it is 2016, and the idea that a company as progressive supposedly as Apple, just like Google, just like all the other jerk-off Facebooks in the world, it's interesting how freedom of expression is touted, providing you only express what they agree to. And that just goes to show you, really, again, the hypocrisy that just not only our banana republic has forced us to live under, but even what's going on, look, the world stage. So I just consider it as bullshit as usual. The world is one big fucking toilet, And as far as I'm concerned, the sooner we flush down more of these fucking morons, the better. That's my attitude.
That'll happen. I mean, as the gaming age gets older,
Yeah.
this is every generation. Every generation hates what the kids are doing, and we're dealing with it now. So
it's just like we talked about this before, like marijuana, legalizing pot. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when I first smoked weed, whenever it was unheard of, the idea that it could be possibly legal. But here we are many years later. A lot of the people that objected to it, well, they're dead. And a lot of people that are in my age group, we're older and we're more liberal about it. And then there's so many young people that are okay with it. It'll happen. This is what happens in history. Hopefully, though, we'll get to a point in history where people will start to wake up and see that the evil violence in the world is really something that needs to be corrected. I'm all in favor of, I should say, live and let live, but the world needs to learn a few lessons. Since I at times can't even believe the shit that I see on the news, and I only believe about 10% of what I see or hear, be it in any medium. I've never believed more than 10% of it.
Well, at least we know we spout truth. We did get rejected. We continuously get rejected. And actually, I might as well segue that into the last postal update that I had later in the show, which was any updates we have about Germany and Steam. And we have been investigating this. We've been talking to various law firms out of Germany, and it does look like it's something we can get done to have our old ass games unbanned in the country. But it's a dice roll. There's no guarantee. They have gotten a lot of things taken off of the lists that were on the lists, but anything that we do is a wild card at this point. Just because Doom 2 or whatever game they most recently removed from the listing got taken off, well, that's Doom. It's not Postal, and that doesn't mean we will or won't, but it's a risk. And we don't have Activision that wants our games for sale on German Steam. We're tiny little running with scissors that tries to shit out our games with the money that we have in our ass. So,
well, I think the best example, just to kind of for those that may not even be aware of it, a couple of years back, when the video game industry and the ESRB and basically when we had the Supreme Court case, the industry, the established video game industry, they used Postal as the flagship title to present to the United States Supreme Court.
Postal 2.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's Postal. I don't give a shit. Bottom line is it was Postal. And they used that as the flagship title, to presenting it to the justices in order for them to deliberate and come to their decision. So here you have this establishment. You can't get any more, whatever you want to call it, hypocritical. But yet the moment, look, and we won. The industry, the people won. Yeah. But we got zero credit for it, and nothing has changed since. So to me, this gets back to, and I don't want to get too political here, but it's all garbage. It's all garbage. Yeah. Democrat, Republican, jerk off.
Unfortunately, we're dealing with, if we want to get a little bit political, we're dealing with two parties that both don't like violent video games. So.
Well, look, it's all BS. I mean, all of it's BS. I just wish that guy, I think he was the former mayor of London. John, you chime in on this. After you guys had the Brexit move, I seen this guy that was kind of like I don't know, a Three Stooges version of Trump, and he was your former mayor of London. I just loved his hairdo. I mean, to me, I would have voted for this fucking guy for no other reason than his hairdo. I loved it. But I don't know. Then I heard he bailed out and you got some broad. I mean,
that guy is our foreign minister now, though.
He's now the foreign minister?
He is indeed, yeah.
What do? They just throw a dart at the wall and pick their next political position?
How do you do that?
Well, they picked a fairly pro-Brexit cabinet by the looks of it. I mean, I don't follow it that closely, but
the Brexit leaders just ran away with their tails between their legs.
Well, they did until one of them became the foreign minister. So I guess he's back.
Well, that's
now.
That's good. That's good.
Well,
Anyway,
at least he
just
has a real
funny. I
position.
mean, love this hairdo. I just wished you would have picked somebody that was better looking to be your prime minister. I mean, that's all. I can't. I mean, she's better looking than Merkel, and not that I'm sitting here, trying to judge people, world leaders based on
we've got hot Trump and hot Hillary on the way in. Those two are so
well,
gorgeous.
I mean,
Can't wait.
At least with Trump, we get a professional model, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like
vice prostitute.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be like one of those people years ago. They used to accuse the women to voting for they voted for Clinton because he was better looking than Bush. They voted for Kennedy, but all bullshit. Well, guess what? This time I'm voting for Melania. I'm totally down. I'm a complete, shameless, empty, fucking ignorant soul. I'm okay.
Okay, we're moving on from this. Let's talk about the latest sensation. This, we can move on actually to this because when we were talking about the younger generation getting older and eventually they'll be in control of things, the younger generation that's older now is still playing Pokemon and in mass, and it is not even remotely a joke. I mean, I personally, no, I don't play Pokemon, but John does. So why don't you tell us all about this phenomenon, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll prefix this by saying that I've never been into Pokemon in my life. It's just something that's never been something I've ever played. But because it's such a massive thing, and I walk 5 miles a day anyway for fitness reasons, I think, I'd give it a try. And, well, my main takeaway from it is it's a buggy piece of shit. It barely works. I mean, I don't know how this isn't being reported about more, but, I'm talking, if you're playing it for an hour, you're probably going to have to force close it at least 5 to 10 times. And that's among other issues such as the server issues and the fact it freezes up. And it's an exercise in frustration just to play it, which makes it even more incredible how popular it is and how many people are playing it.
It's ridiculous. Every night here in Tucson, they have gatherings at the biggest park, and people just go out there and compete in teams. I saw a video this week of hundreds of people crossing the street to run into Central Park because they released a super rare Pokemon, and cars were just slamming on their brakes. People were running out of their car with their phone in their hand so they could all go try to catch this rare Pokemon. I mean, I guess this is what people want to do, and I respect it, but man, it's nuts.
It's weird, man. I mean, it's not even a particularly fully fleshed out game. There's not a lot to it. I can see the appeal, and it's definitely nice on the social aspect, as you say. I mean, I was down the local park the other day, and there was just groups of people of all ages, races, sexes, just there chatting about the game. And
how about that? How about that British quote game journalist that I sent you the other day? That is now shaming gamers because they want to talk to people and potentially hit on girls that are playing the game. What is that shit?
Yeah, I didn't read that, and from what I read, it just looked like he was just trying to be friends with her, like just striking up conversation.
Right, he said, "Let me get your number. We'll go out and play some Pokemon sometime." And then she went off about, "I would never date somebody like that. This, that, and the other." I mean, come on. This is just, this is where things get weird, because normally you hear people kind of blasting, "Well, gamers stay at home. They're neckbeards. This, that, and the other thing." Now we actually have a game that's bringing people out of their house. They're being forced to walk around. They're doing it in the millions. And I think that's great for the industry, whether the game's buggy or not. And then we've got, these game journalists, nerd shaming them, basically. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, anything for the clicks.
Listen, you got to remember, most game journalists, A, are not journalists. B, they're failed producers or unemployed people that worked at either a developer or a publishing company. It's one of the great, I think, shames about our industry that the media within our industry is so poorly staffed, so poorly served, and that's just a fact. But this Pokemon thing. Let me ask you, John. I mean, I kind of like it because I really enjoy real time social activity, and many years ago, actually. Many years ago, we had a in-house game concept that I was toying with that was going to involve the masses, if you will, in a social participation way. But here's something I'm kind of curious about. What's up with the Pokemon porn? I mean, like I'm not super active on Twitter, but like I get, every now and then, not even every now and then, almost daily, I'm getting some Twitter post or something, and a Pokemon character, they find themselves in the most, how would you say, if not convenient, joyful positions or strategically placed. Where
I'm guessing this is more of a reflection of your Twitter feed and not,
my Twitter
not the
feed,
general population.
Well, I just find it comical. I mean,
well, it's just God. It's that gets back to whatever's popular at the time. They're going to put all over porn. So if porn has it,
it's porn always wins out.
Not that I'm not a big fan of this in general, but what I do like about this is it's actually really booming local businesses around the world, because what you can do as a local business is you can buy what's called a lure, and you can set it up at your business, and it will generate Pokemon there. So you can force people to come to your store or whatever type of business you have, and your business will go up. I mean, I read about a guy's business that doubled yesterday.
That's
because
great.
He set up a lure. And, it's just an instant advertising. You're not even directly advertising your business. You're just geographically putting people into your location. So it's definitely worth the money. I wish I had a business where we could do that. I don't want people coming in the office here. I mean, it's not going to help unless I can put Pokemon for just women I want to talk to. So,
but that's great. I'm glad to hear that. I mean,
it's good. And we've been. I did have a question the other day from someone said, "Where's Postal Go?" Yeah, that's not going to happen. So we like it. We like that it's there, but that's not going to happen. So. What we will talk about, which is something that we are going to get into, is virtual reality. I mean, that's the other big thing right now. It's not quite the Pokemon Go sensation, but it is big, and it's going to get bigger. And John is also our resident VR expert, so why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, VR is fucking cool, man. I've been waiting for it all my life, and it's just everything I dreamed it could be, mostly. There are definitely some caveats, and obviously the technology does need to evolve, and they do have some problems they need to address. But, I mean, for the most part, it's just incredible, especially the HTC Vive. I mean, I've played on a Rift at game shows, and of course, that's just a seated experience. But with the Vive, it's basically the next generation already. I mean, Valve are really ahead of the game here with having the whole room scale thing and one-to-one hand tracking motion out the box. Yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean, there's some really good games out for it already. A lot of them are basically tech demos, but it doesn't really matter. For the meantime, a simple game can be a huge amounts of fun just because of the sense of immersion that you get. And it's not something you can really describe to people. You have to experience it. And that's one of the things that it's one of my favorite things to do right now is just get people over here and stick the headset on them and just make them go, wow. Even non-gamers are just sort of blown away by how immersive this technology is. There are definitely some downsides to it, and as I say, the problems that we need to overcome. Like, for example, I mean, I think it's like 90 degrees here in the UK right now, and you do not want to be playing VR in this heat because you sweat like crazy. It's the headset makes your face hot, and you sweat, and the phone absorbs all your sweat, and it's not a pleasant experience at all. So, I mean, there's not a great deal they can do about that, but they are definitely going to have to work out a better way to handle, the way the VR deals with people that are profusely sweating while they're playing it. It's fairly difficult to set up. I mean, the Vive was at least, but once you got it going, it does work as advertised mostly. I think Bob's had a few more problems with it.
I think even bigger than that, forgetting just toughness to set up, it's very expensive just to get in. I mean, forgetting the cost of the VR headset, which is prohibitive, you also have to have a very expensive computer to run the VR. So you're looking at, $900 plus a good $1,500 minimum on a computer. And
right.
I mean, it's not that expensive if you look in the history of gaming, but it is a relatively high entry level starter pack. It's
absolutely. I mean, it's not a consumer product right now. It really is there for the tech enthusiasts like myself. But it's obviously heading that way. I mean, Facebook seemed to believe heavily in it. They invested $2 billion into the Oculus Rift. So and they give it a few years. I mean, already now they've just released a new generation of graphics cards, which are they can run VR, and I think that they start at like $250. So the cost of VR is coming down and will continue to come down.
Of course,
but
of course.
They will address a lot of the problems that it's currently having.
By Christmas 2017, not this Christmas, it will be very available. So, for our fans, I mean, it's something we want to do. It's something we will do, and just stay tuned. That's all. I mean, it'll get
PlayStation VR is what's going to be the one to look at, because that's going to be the first real push for mass adoption, if you like.
Right, cost effective. It'll work on everybody's PlayStation that they already have.
There you go.
And they've got a cool gimmick with it as well. I mean, unlike the current VR, it's not a particularly social experience. You know, you've got, if you have a group of friends around, one person puts it on, everyone else laughs at him looking like an idiot swinging his hands around. With the PlayStation VR, they've got this really cool thing going on where people can actually game with them. So someone's got the headset on, other people are playing on the couch, looking at the TV, and I'm not entirely sure how it works yet, or how games are going to utilize this. But I mean, that's going to turn it into a social experience, which is what's going to propel it into the mainstream.
Hey, John, what's the state of VR porn? How's that?
That's the true reason to get VR. That's the only VR I've seen, and it is some good stuff.
But John, I'm asking seriously, because historically, I mean, I'm going really way back here, what it was Betaverse, VHS and all. The porn industry really historically has led the way in terms of consumers buying in that first wave. It's not just, techies that buy the latest, greatest toy. You'll get the larger consumer who couldn't give a shit about technology at all, but they're driven. I've seen it. It's the way it worked. I mean,
VR porn is right on the front of every porn page now. I mean, if you go to Pornhub, it's usually the first thing. I mean, that's
okay.
It's a big deal now. So, I mean, with VR porn, you don't need to have a Vive or an Oculus Rift. You can have the little cardboard VR piece that they sell for Android phones. You can have the Gear headset for the Android phones. I mean, this all works with the VR porn. So that's an industry that's going to come up. But like anything else porn, people will jump for the free porn first. So
it's a game changer.
Not that I've ever been to Pornhub, but that's what's there. So.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to. I don't know. I'm not as up on it. Ever since I left New York, what could I tell you?
Out of the porn industry. So yeah, VR, it's a big deal. It's somewhere we're gonna go. So
excellent.
If you're waiting for Running with Scissors to do something virtual reality, we will. But
just probably not Postal.
Yeah, just probably not Postal for now. We will eventually do something Postal VR, just not right now.
Just taking this opportunity, speaking to our fans, I'd love to hear what anybody has to say about VR. It would really, please feel free to write. I always, and I guess I should also take this opportunity to always thank our fans. If it's to me, the best part of my job, and what makes it not a job, is every day getting great mail from fans all around the world. So I say thank you to everyone again.
Well, I got a couple questions here that we can throw out for some
good.
Fans if you want. One, John will have to answer. This is from Elias Keem. He wants the 2016 MikeJ model that was in the Easter egg to be put back into Share the Pain. So I'm sure that's doable, right, John?
Well, we don't update the base game as such, but it can certainly be put on there as a mod. I mean, if you have any friends as server admins, possibly, it'd be fairly easy for us to support them and help them get like a texture pack for them to put on the server.
Okay, well, there's sort of an answer. Maybe.
We can do it officially for a number of reasons, but yeah, we can do it. It can be done via a third-party mod, and then a server admin can run it.
There you go. One more question about the mall. Will there be an update in June 20 of 84 where the last few buildings in the mall will be updated?
2084?
We will be dead. We don't have an answer to that question.
No, I'm going to be around. 2084 is only, 62
You'll
years.
only be 131.
I'm good with the program.
We're going to cut your head off and put it in suspended animation.
Listen, I'm going Ted Williams, for those people that know that. I'm going Ted Williams.
There's a question about, don't know if you got my message, but I can't open a U.S. Steam account. I think that's somebody from Germany that would like to play our games. And all I can say about that is there's not much we can do right now. I can sell you some Steam keys, and some of them will work, some of them won't. The Postal Redux keys will not. So I can't sell you a Redux key, but I'm not really sure. There's probably an easy answer to this. Maybe you use a VPN to sign up for an account outside. I really don't know. So someone's going to have to help you out. And the last question I have right now is, will Postal 4 be VR? Now, we can't really say right now, but I think so. I think we'll have some aspects of VR in there, or at least an offshoot of Postal 4 that'll be VR. But, you know, we're doing something else next. Postal's not next, so we'll deal with that when it comes up, right? All right.
Yep.
What we're going to do right now is I'm going to play the 2016 update from Postal 2 so you can all see the new mall level if you haven't already. So we're going to take a little break talking, and you can just watch this video. So check it out.
Have a safe trip back. Here's some tips from the future. Bet on the Red Sox and don't buy Postal 3.
Great!
How you doing, man? Welcome to Steam. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing? Everything? That'll be $10.
I don't know if you want that. That's pretty much the worst game ever. How you doing, man? Welcome to Steam.
Hey, is this everything?
As far as
That'll be $10.
there you go.
That game's pretty cool.
For Siggity.
Hello.
Hi there.
Is this everything?
Yes.
That'll be $10.
Have a safe trip back. Here's some tips from the future. Bet on the Red Sox and don't buy Postal 3.
Okay. Well, who'd have thought that would happen?
How you doing, man? Welcome to Steam.
Well, I suppose that was worth the wait. Video games don't kill people, I do.
And back again. Hello, hello, hello. That was our little break sponsored by the Postal 2 update. And I'm back. Vince is far away. Let's see if he can come back on for us. Is John here? Hello, John. Hello, hello, hello.
I am still here.
There you are. All right. Well, I hope all of you liked that. If you haven't seen that, that was our update that we did to Postal 2 many years later. Little Easter egg that we gave you. And, next I wanted to talk about just some current movies and TV shows we've been watching. And since Vince isn't here, I guess we can talk about Game of Thrones. Me and John watched that relatively religiously. And, last season ended with quite a bang. I just am I'm very, very annoyed that they can't just extend the last 2 seasons into what they have the last 6 seasons. I mean, I feel like seasons 2 through 4 had 3-4 episodes where just about nothing happened. So why can't they do that for the last ones? I mean, they're cutting the 7th season down to 7 episodes.
Are they?
And yeah, and the 8th season's only going to be 8 episodes. I mean, they picked a specific number of episodes they were going to do total, I guess, at the beginning, and that's what they're going for in the last 2 seasons. But, we've kind of come to expect these 10 episodes. I guess we're lucky we get anything, but why would they even cut it short? Why not just have a couple more walking episodes, Unless every episode is a last 3 episodes in the season type, then, I mean, it's kind of annoying.
That's surprising. I just thought, it's like the biggest thing ever on TV. I just figured that,
I agree. It is. And they could do anything. They could, if they have no more story to tell, they could spend whole episodes going into historical stuff. There's plenty of historical stuff that people would love to see.
Yeah, the flashbacks were... I mean, I usually don't like flashbacks when I'm watching TV shows, but I feel it worked really well with Game of Thrones. I really want to see more of the backlore to it.
Yeah, I actually expected a lot more in the last season. The stuff we got was good, and they really held off on the Tower of Joy stuff until the very end, but it was... I don't know. There just wasn't enough of it. And I guess now that... we're going to go into spoiler territory here. If you haven't watched the 7th season of Game of Thrones, I'm sorry. Tune out now. But since Bran is now the Three-Eyed Raven, we should be getting endless flashbacks next season because, we need to see what happened in Westeros. We need to see everything. And I don't know. I guess we got some of it last season, but we didn't get enough. Oh, well, that's my Game of Thrones rant for now. I guess the other big show that's on right now, and I think I'm the only one of the 3 of us that's watching it, is Mr. Robot. This is an epic show. I mean, really, the first season was just amazing. Basically, it's a show about a hacker that works in a security firm, and him and his little team of hackers basically want to take down the establishment and get rid of everybody's credit debt and cause mass anarchy. And they basically go through with their plan. And it's the 2nd season now, and it's very good. It's on USA, and the first episode was last week. The second episode is tomorrow night. And I guess I don't have anything to talk with you guys about it because you don't watch it. So this is me telling you, get on Amazon Prime if you haven't and watch the first season of Mr. Robot. It is amazing. I mean, really, it's one of those shows that you just absolutely binge watch. You turn on the first episode and then you catch yourself 5-6 episodes later, even if you have something to do, because you just can't turn it off. It's really cerebral. It's got, really good suspense elements to it. It's got Christian Slater, who has been doing nothing for the last 15 years, but he's actually very good. The show was nominated for a ton of Emmys. I'm not positive if it won any, but it's great for USA especially, because I feel like USA is the channel of garbage, and Mr. Robot's on it, so it sort of forced me to add the orange Sling package to my Sling TV so that I could watch it instead of waiting for it to be on Amazon Prime. So check it out if you haven't. And John, you got to watch it.
I will watch it tonight. I've just found out the girlfriend's got Amazon Prime, so I can check it out.
Yeah, that's the answer to everything is Mr. Robot. Yeah, you're right. Robert reminded me that Christian Slater was in an Uwe Boll movie, so that's our 2 degrees of separation to Christian Slater, is that he was dumb enough to work with Uwe like we were. But
listen,
no.
I take full credit.
Well, look, we have
full
a movie.
Credit. I take full credit.
We have
full
a movie.
Credit.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I guess another show that we just watched, Vince actually blew through it. This is right up your alley because it's British, John, is a show called Marcella on Netflix. It's kind of a murder mystery show, and it's just it's great. It's just a great show. What do you think about it, Vince?
Well, once I got over, I've always had a difficulty, watching any British shows because, my English is based on Brooklyn, and I always have a difficult time understanding British people speaking English. So, but once I got past that, I really liked it. I did. I watched the first season. I think I watched it in 2 days, 2 nights. I went through it. I kind of like that type of murder mystery thing. And British TV somehow for me always naturally fits good with solving crime. I don't know. I like that.
It's because
I don't know
London
if
is so drab and overcast.
It's Jack the Ripper thing. I don't know. It's a Sherlock Holmes thing. I mean, I'm totally, profiling here, but I do enjoy it. I actually liked it better than like our American. I think you told me at first it was kind of like a Brit version of Law and Order. I fucking
mostly
hate
the
Law and
Order. It was like a British version of Order.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. Okay. Yeah. Because I've really lost a lot of interest in American TV, at least in terms of commercial American TV. The standard networks. I have very little use for it. So I did. I enjoyed Marcella. Anybody that's looking for a serious drama or, detective type program, I thought it was, well produced, well acted, and it's got a lot of intrigue. You're guessing, who's the murderer. I mean, is the murderer the S&M guy? Is it the gay brother? Is it the slut cousin? Is it the prostitute?
They throw a lot of
you got a lot of nice characters to think if they're the one. So
right. Yeah. I've actually been enjoying a lot of British TV on Netflix lately. There's been a lot of good stuff. I mean, for starters, Sherlock was an amazing show. Marcella was great. Black Mirror, if anybody has seen that, it's a British show that's basically a rip on Twilight Zone. Each episode is completely encapsulated within itself, little stories, and it's great. So you should check that out. There's another show called Scrotal Recall. It's funny, these are all British BBC shows that I've been watching on Netflix, and they're all very good. So, what about you, John? Let's hear what you've been watching. What have you been watching lately?
Not much. I mean, any free time I get generally goes towards gaming because I'm just a gaming geek. I've been watching Orange is the New Black. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah, I blew through Orange is the New Black too. This season was actually pretty good. It got pretty heavy, actually, compared to the last few seasons.
It did. I'm glad about that because I thought it got a bit stupid in season 3. So I was quite glad that it got a bit more serious. I mean, maybe a bit too serious. But...
What, Ben?
I'm a little curious. I mean, I've not watched a single full episode of it. Yeah. I sometimes pass the TV room and I see it's on, and who's watching it. But so what occurred that makes you state that this season was heavy?
Well, so the show is done by Genji Cohen, which is the lady that did the show Weeds, and even Weeds touched on a lot of relatively heavy topics, but did it really lighthearted. Like anytime someone would die, it kind of just blew past it. Like it just made it into a joke. But people would die constantly on the show, and you wouldn't even care about it. And that's kind of the way Orange is the New Black started. I guess nobody really died at the beginning, but the second season it was a little too light on its feet with everything. And then this season it really hammered in more emotional stuff with it and kind of dwelled on it. So I don't know, it just kind of it weighed more on your head while you were watching it.
As a prison drama should, I think.
I mean, it is a prison drama, but like I said, Cohen tends to make these dramas more comedic than overly dramatic. But this season just felt more dramatic. So, I don't know. It was good. It was very good, and I wasn't particularly looking forward to it because I didn't really care for the last season. So. Me
too, yeah. I actually gave up on the last season halfway through, I think. It was only because someone said to me, oh, no, this season's really good. I got caught up and then watched it, and definitely back on the right track. Looking forward to the next season.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what women in real prison, be it in Great Britain, I don't care what country it's in, I'd love to hear if they had the opportunity to express themselves and if they get to watch it and what they think of it. Because that's always of interest to me.
You'd have to ask women who are in a minimum security
my daughter,
prison.
Is the show based on minimum security?
Yeah, it's based on the it's a full prison, but the section that the show takes place in is the minimum security part of the prison.
Wow.
In upstate New York.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't know.
It's a good show.
I don't know any women in prison currently in New York State. They
you
all
wouldn't be
got
able to
out.
ask the women in prison currently. You'd have to ask ex-cons that were in women's prison.
Well, no, if they're in minimum, they get to watch TV, and they may very well be able to watch the program. I don't know. What was the other prison program that was popular? Oz. I mean, I know some people that were watching Oz, and they just laughed at it because they found it. I don't want to say comical, but I guess there's a certain identity.
We do actually have an ex-con that was in a basically minimum security country club prison, watching and listening right now.
Is he? Well, we should leave. No need to mention his name. He's a good guy, and I appreciate all his loyalty.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What about movies, guys? Have you seen any movies lately?
I seen Spy and a Half. I mean, not my typical idea of going, but I fucking rolled. I loved it. I think The Rock is a great.
I don't think that
talent.
Is that what it's called in Mexico?
Yeah, in Mexico, it's I forgot how you say it. Medio. It's basically Spy and a Half.
Yeah, that's not what it was called here.
What was it called in the U.S.? I mean, I'm not in the U.S., so I haven't.
I didn't see it yet. Let me check it out real quick.
The Rock is very talented. I mean, much more than just a bodybuilder. He has great comedic timing. I thought he was better than Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's always Kevin Hart. It's kind of like Tom Cruise.
Central Intelligence. It was called Central Intelligence.
That's what it was called in the U.S.? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, no, here it was Spy and a Half.
He is the highest paid actor right now. I just read that the other day.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, what I liked about it was from the minute it started to the very ending, I was laughing. I laughed for whatever it was, 90 minutes, 100. To me, that was great. I mean, it was, I'm not saying it's.
Yeah, if you pull up his IMDb now, he's got 10 projects that are not out yet, that are in the works, between filming announced, that are in post-production. Not to mention,
fantastic.
He's on an HBO show now called Ballers. It's in its second season right now. So, I mean, this guy's really, he's really come away from wrestling and made a hell of a movie career for himself. So.
Deserves all the credit in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Great talent, fun to watch. It was a real pisser for me. Like I said, I mean, it was funny. While before the film opened, one of the trailers that they played was, I don't even remember the name of it, but it was of the guy that played Gladiator. What the hell is his name? Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe. I think it was Russell Crowe, and I don't even know who the other actor is. Some young white dude.
It's
totally
the comedy, the cop comedy. It was great. I saw that.
You seen it? Well, the trailer made. I wanted to throw up. I was like, "This movie."
It's a buddy cop movie. It's a buddy cop movie that makes fun of 70s buddy cop movies. It's meant to be funny.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't give a full criticism. But the trailer did nothing for me.
Oh yeah, it had like 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's good. It was very good.
And how did Spy and a Half, or Central Intelligence, as you call it, how did that rate?
Central, I'm going to guess much lower. Let me look. Central Intelligence on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, it's pulling up. This week we've got Star Trek coming out too, so this is a big week for Central Intelligence, 67%. That's actually not bad. That's fresh. That's a good rating for a comedy. So.
Well, I liked it.
Did well.
I liked it.
All right, and then, just briefly, we'll get into it. The new Star Trek comes out this week. I don't know how many of our listeners are Star Trek nerds, but I always was. I always loved Star Trek, and I actually like the new ones, even though the hardcore fans hate them. They think they're a little bit too aesthetically pleasing and not mentally pleasing enough. I think J.J. Abrams has done a great job with them, as he did with Star Wars. So everybody go see Star Trek Beyond this week and let us know what you think of it. I think it's going to be much better than the last. The last was just too much rehash of Wrath of Khan. So We do have one question from Mystery Pigman. Will there be any chance of a sequel to the Postal movie? Now, somebody did say they did have a Kickstarter that Uwe had a while ago, and that failed miserably. But there is definitely.
Well, I would like to point out its failure was not based on us. It was based on nobody wanted to support Uwe. Very different.
It's possible.
And I wouldn't even. Yeah, but it's not so much that we will be looking at doing a sequel as much as a new feature film based on Postal. Completely, whatever it's going to be. I mean, we've had some treatments in the works from in-house to other people approaching us. So I would have to say that it's highly probable that we'll do something at some point. Just can't say exactly how soon or when. But don't think in terms of sequel. Just think in terms of a new Postal project for feature film. That would be a more accurate description.
We'll do something. There'll be another Postal project that's on film, not just games. So look for that.
Hey Jay, looking at my list of the last thing that's on our agenda.
Yeah.
If I could have afford me the opportunity to segue into it.
Yeah,
I've got to take a dump soon. So why don't you bring to the forefront here where you want to go with your last topic?
Well, our last topic, which has nothing to do with I guess it's kind of techie if you have the right kind, but I want to talk about a problem in this world with dirty assholes. And I don't mean people, I mean they're literal assholes. We've come to accept in this world, for the most part, that you wad up dry paper to wipe your ass at the end of a good shit. And, all I know is if I'm running out in the mud and I come inside, the first thing that I'm doing is not wiping myself off with a dry towel. I'm jumping in the shower. I gotta get myself clean. And, we do this multiple times a day. We take the nastiest shits and all we do is we mash around the poo with a dry piece of paper. Well, I'm done with that. I've been done with that for years, and I feel like I need to spread the love. I talked Vince into getting some bidets a couple of years ago, and he wasn't really using them, but now he is, and the man is now a believer. Tell him.
Not only am I a believer, my first bidet, it's a pretty good model. It has all your standard features. And then my newest up in my master bath is full blown. I mean, it's got the vortex feature, which is basically the enema. Excuse me, I'm flooding fucking mosquitoes in my house here. But the vortex feature is not only mind blowing, it really has confirmed what a good friend of mine once said: a clean ass is a happy ass. And all I can tell you is it's really changed my life. It's amazing.
You get yourself a good bidet. You get yourself a nice box of baby wipes, too. Never use a dry toilet paper. A good bidet has an ass dryer. You're not going to have a wet ass.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you do, guess what? Who cares if you have a wet ass? That's better than having a dirty ass.
Yeah.
A basic starter bidet on Amazon you can get for about $20-$25. If you want to go up, you can get a nice powered one that has a heated seat. It has a dryer.
That's what I got.
It
heated
will
seat.
Disinfect the inside of the toilet bowl. It'll light the toilet bowl. I mean, these things range, and they are, in Japan, something like 95% of their toilets have intelligent toilet seats.
I think in Japan, they even have models where some young girl in a school outfit comes out of the bowl and
cleans you.
Cleans you with her.
It's not a real bidet. She actually just fills her mouth with water and she shoots it at you.
It's very possible.
That sounds
very
more like
possible.
the Thailand model.
Oh my god! Yeah.
All right, so Vince has to take a dump right now. So why don't I show everybody some screenshots from the special delivery maps for Postal Redux. So
Listen, and everybody, I'm signing off now. But thank you all, and once again, always, most importantly, thanks to all the best fans in the world. God bless everybody.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you.
Enjoy your B-Day.
All All right, John, I'm going to play these screenshots here. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So check them out. well, there you go. That was 20 screenshots from the new maps that are going to be included in the special delivery and co-op add-on that we're going to put back into our game. So, if John, you have anything to say about those? I know they are your baby. So,
Not really. Oh, I suppose I do actually. So, just in case anyone was wondering, if you're a fan of the original game and you were aware of the fact that these had new NPCs and new voice acting, we will be adding that in as well. So we've got the new characters to come in. So it's not just the new maps. We'll have the map-specific NPCs, such as we've obviously got the Japanese characters of the Japanese maps. We've got the nudists for the resort map.
ooh,
And there are some old people as well to go in. So, yeah.
nice.
all going on.
It's kind of what people were bitching about when we released the game. Oh, why couldn't you have these in there? It's like, well, we wanted to get the game out. We didn't want to continue to work on it. We wanted you guys to be able to play it. So even if it's in an unfinished form, it was out there. So.
Yeah, and well, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't unfinished as such, because the Redux came out in the same state that Postal 1 did in the scope of maps.
Right.
In fact, it had
Yeah,
an
this
extra
was an
map
add-on.
even.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so now we're
We're following
releasing
our
the
own
add-
lead, okay?
That's right. And the Super Postal maps, of course, were never. I don't think they were ever released in the US, were they? It was just Japanese
No.
specific. So this is exclusive as well.
But
so
since we have an amazing artist that lives in Japan and is Japanese, she was perfect to make our Tokyo maps.
Absolutely. And we've also. It looks like we're going to have a brand new map for the add-on as well, an airport map. So you got that to look forward to.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that. You buy a game, we give you more content for it, and we don't charge you for it. Not a
Yep.
problem. Someone did ask a question, though. Kenny MC2 wanted to know, will there be a Gauntlet challenge in co-op?
We will see. I mean, basically what we're doing is we're going to put the co-op out. We're going to see what the response is, how popular the game gets, and if there's enough demand and enough sales on the back of the co-op being released, then we may expand it. But we're not promising
Kenny,
anything.
if you could get, a couple 100,000 people to buy the game in the next month, we'll make that for you. We'll make Gauntlet just for you.
Yes, basically. So, spread the word, get the game to sell, and we will give you some extra content on top of that.
Yeah, I think that would be best. So, all right, well, we seem to have run out of topics for this week's episode. Unless you got anything else you want to say, John, unless you have anything more to give. Hello, John.
Oh, sorry, yeah. We've been asked, will there be maps for the port of Android for Postal? No, we probably won't do an Android port because Google didn't take Postal 1, so they probably won't take Redux, and therefore...
Yeah,
it's a bit
we're
of a waste of
not
time,
going down
unfortunately.
that route again. That was a waste of time to be rejected from a store that doesn't reject anything. That's our modus operandi, and I'm sick of it. So
Yeah,
no,
we are worse than the human centipede, apparently.
Yep, way worse. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to about wrap it up for our second edition of the Running with Scissors I Regret Nothing podcast. I want to thank Vince, who's probably still on the bowl, and John Merchant for coming on the show again and listening to me and Vince rant about shit and giving us his own shit to rant about. So, thank you, John.
Nice one. See you again.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for listening. We'll probably be back in the next month or so to give you the next edition, and keep an eye out for the co-op and special delivery add-ons we're going to be adding in, and hopefully we'll have some other big news for you here soon. So thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
And only the same song, that same song can lead me to the bottom.